How many times have you started a book and failed to finish? I'll be honest, that's happened to me a lot. If a book doesn't give me value, captivate my attention, and keep it, I'll put it down. But there's 5 books that have shaped my thinking and affected different parts of my life. This book is essentially a treasure trove of life lessons, strategies, and philosophies gathered from over 200 world-class performers interviewed on The Tim Ferriss Show. The book encapsulates the habits, routines, and mental frameworks these high achievers employ, encompassing diverse areas such as business, art, sports, and science. So why I chose it, this book has so much information from people who went for it. You know, you can get the perspective of over 200 people in one book and what they do and how they got to where they are. And that always fascinates me. Like, I love learning how someone got to where they are because it's just so inspiring and like it makes me want to be like that too. It's designed as a reference guide that you can hop in and out of. So, you know, you might not resonate with every single person. Like, there's Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's Peter Thiel, there's rock climbers, there's like powerlifters. You might not resonate with each one of them, and you might not be as interested in all of them equally. So, you know, you can really just apply. Also, it's just a ton of information. I think it's like 700 pages or something. So it's just a ton of information, and yeah, so you can choose who you want to focus on, essentially, and you can apply their tactics into your own life. So there's obviously so many different paths you can take, and all these world-class performers were doing different things. So this just like motivates me to do what I want because everyone has their own interests, you know, everyone is going to want to do their own thing, and they've all made it out in different ways, but they've been successful, in my opinion. It is quite lengthy, so if you don't like reading really long books, then maybe start with like a shorter one, a shorter self-help book, but this one is certainly a must-read on my list. Clear's Atomic Habits is a revolutionary take on the power of tiny behavior changes. This book delves deep into how habits work, why some stick while others don't, and the science behind our actions. The transformative power of the book lies in its ability to break down the complex process of habit formation into practical, manageable steps. Clear's message is simple yet profound. Small, consistent changes can lead to significant results over time. Okay, so why I chose Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits is like my go-to self-help book. Like, if you haven't started getting into any of this, I feel like Atomic Habits is simple. There's so many actionable steps within it, right? So he says he's sold over 10 million copies worldwide. He spent over 1 year, he, as in James Clear, but I guess Atomic Habits, has spent over 1 year on the New York Times bestseller list, and it's been translated into over 50 languages. That is insane to me. Like, this book, and it's still on the Amazon bestseller list up until today. So many people have, that just goes to show how many people it's affected. Like, hundreds of millions of people. You know, so the whole story, I think this is actually the first self-help book that I read, which is why I'm so attached to it. This happened back in the pandemic when I was literally just inside most of the time, like a lot of us were, and I wanted to lose weight. I was just overweight and I was not feeling great about myself. I didn't have a positive, like, self-image. I didn't have a lot of confidence, and I was just sluggish. I would be getting tired in the middle of the day, and it was just not it. So I wanted to change, and I've told this story a few times, but I lost over 30 pounds. And honestly, right now, I'm not too far off from the weight that I was at that point, but I'm a lot more fit and healthy and just higher energy. So yeah. And so basically the whole point is, throughout reading this book, I was able to implement a lot of what he said, like through habit stacking and just a lot of the, you know, he has a lot of worksheets and workbooks, I guess, that go with things in his book that you get for free if you buy the book. And so I was able to apply a lot of it and achieve my fitness goals. So I also woke up early every single day during the pandemic. Like, now I'm trying to get back to that. I wake up around like 8 or 9 nowadays, but during the pandemic, I would wake up at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. with my little brother, and we would do yoga together. So my little brother is 9, by the way. So, like, you know, we were both able to do that, and I was able to convince him as well. So I just became a morning person and slowly built up that habit of starting my day with silence and meditation, which I still do up to this point. So this book has been life-changing because it's helped me establish a lot of the habits that I have right now, which sets the foundation for so many things, right? I'm thinking 10, 20, 30 years down the line. If I'm still doing what I'm doing now, if I'm still meditating, exercising, reading, like that can have an exponential effect way later down my life. And yeah, so that's why. And honestly, now that I've started doing it, I can't imagine not doing it. So yeah, it's just a great book, easy to follow, and a great first read if you haven't read any self-help books. Next up is Cleaning Up Your Mental Mess by Dr. Caroline Leaf. It's a thought-provoking exploration of the mind-brain connection, and this book provides science-backed insights into how managing your thoughts can impact your mental and physical well-being. I chose this book because I feel like everyone has mental health struggles, whether we like to admit it or not. And I'll just say that in the beginning, And if you want to take a first step in helping yourself, or even if you're advanced and you already do a lot of these healthy habits to help your mental health, this book is the only book you need. I will say it has a decent amount of science within the text, but you don't need to understand everything. Like, I definitely didn't understand everything, especially my first time reading it. There's just some graphs and, she does a really good job of breaking it down, but it's kind of complex and more sciencey in the first half. And in the second half, it's a lot more simple on how you can achieve it step by step. And she really breaks it down, and that part's really easy to understand. Yeah, the second half is simpler, super actionable, and I've used a lot of her tactics to help me through many obstacles since, I think, the pandemic. That's when I read it. And in just my day-to-day routine. And I love it, and I highly recommend it to anyone. And if you follow her tips, you will see change. And yeah, like I said, in the first half, she talks about her 5-step neurocycle method for detoxing and reprogramming the brain. So I guess one point I want to say is, our brains are not, and a lot of people may know this, but our brains are not set in stone. Like, our brains are consistently changing every single day. With every choice we make, with every decision, with every thought, our brains are like reprogramming, which is crazy to think, because you might think, oh, because I've been in this way for a while, this is just how I am. But no, like, if you learn something new, your brain's gonna change. If you change a behavior, you're gonna change. So it just this book drives this point home, and I've learned this over time. Book 4 is Boundless by Ben Greenfield, a comprehensive guide to optimizing physical and mental performance. It presents a blueprint for total wellness and explores topics like biohacking, sleep habits, diet, exercise, blending scientific research with practical advice. Boundless. This Boundless is like Tools of Titans. It is 800 pages long, and it's a fat textbook. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Ben Greenfield, but he's a biohacker. This book will set it straight for you. Okay, I found it for you. I found it for you guys because I was like, they have to see how big this book is and the chapters within it. So this is the book. It's a textbook, like a college textbook, but I promise it is not. I mean, it is like shaped like one, but it's not like one because it has a lot more. Okay, ready? I'm really gonna read just a bunch of the chapters. Coffee, booze, and horror flicks. 38 degrees below zero. Breathwork and beyond. Eat yourself smart. Lean and mean. Sexy forever. Biohack your body. Clean gut. Never get sick. Supermodel. Longevity decoded. Routines and rituals. Yeah, each chapter just has so much in it. And honestly, now that I'm talking about it, I might read it all over again because it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Definitely take it chunk by chunk because you won't be able to apply everything all at once. Like, even if you just take a few pieces of what he's saying, you can like pick what you want to start with first, and you can drastically positively affect several areas of your life. We're at the last set of books, and forgive me because I literally could not choose one book, and it was even hard to narrow it down to these. So I just chose a collection. I chose 3 books, right, that are all kind of similar in the sense that they're very motivational. These 3 books are Anything You Want by Derek Sivers, #Girlboss by Sophia Amoroso, and 100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. In Anything You Want, Sivers imparts his entrepreneurial wisdom gained from founding and then selling CD Baby, one of the largest online music stores. His anecdotes and reflections condensed into 40 insightful lessons cover everything from customer service to leadership principles. The book is a compelling reminder that achieving success in business and life means sticking to your personal values and goals. Next up is #Girlboss. This book tells the extraordinary story of how Sophia Amoroso turned an everyday eBay store into the multi-million-dollar fashion empire, Nasty Gal. Alongside her personal journey, Amoroso provides practical advice for young women about work, life, and how to harness their potential. Her story inspires readers to embrace their individuality, work hard, and become their own #girlboss, which was coined from this book. And last but not least, Alex Hormozi's book delves into the art and science of creating irresistible high-ticket offers. He shares his own experiences and lessons learned in the business world, making complex concepts understandable and actionable. It's a valuable resource for entrepreneurs and marketers aiming to maximize their business revenue and stand out in a competitive marketplace. I'm just going to talk about these books as a whole because they're all kind of similar in the sense that they're motivational, like I said, and I could not choose. So all of these books are fairly easy reads. They're shorter than all of the other ones, but still give so much value. And all of these books have a similar theme in the sense that a lot of these people, they started from nothing, the authors, or something small and grew it into something huge. For example, Sophia, who turned her eBay business into one of the most famous clothing brands, girls' clothing brands now. And it's crazy inspirational. Like I said this in the beginning, but you know when you read a book and you just want to do something right after it and you want to act on it and you get so motivated, these books do that for you. And I would say all of them are worth reading and you'll be able to gain value from all of them no matter who you are. Now that we've discussed all the books, I'll talk about some tips that I've used in my own reading routine. I know a lot of people struggle with applying concepts to your life after reading a big book, and I think it's all about making personal connections. The author talks about mindfulness. I think about that one time I was too stressed to focus on work and how mindfulness could have helped. This way, I forge a personal connection with the concept, and next time I know exactly what to do when I'm stressed. Here are a few other methods I've used in the past that have been successful in retaining information. So if you're more type A, you might want to highlight or fold pages you want to go back to and write notes down, write down page numbers. You can also create an action plan if you're really serious about what you want to follow through on. I also follow the podcast or social media of the author because they can give you little sprinkles throughout the day and remind you what you've read. And of course, you can always go back to the books that you've read and reread them if you really like them. Books are more than just a collection of pages. They're portals to endless realms of knowledge. Whether you dive deep into many or carefully select a few of impactful ones, the most important thing is to simply begin. If you're new to this journey, why not start with a brief, lighthearted read? Maybe revisit a childhood favorite. Like I've read some of my favorite books from when I was younger, or delve into like a thrilling adventure that keeps you hooked. Remember, it only takes one book to spark a whole revolution in your mind and potentially change your life. So why wait? Embark on your reading journey today and unlock the transformative power of books. And I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart if you watch this all the way through. I aim to just give value, help people live their best lives, become the best version of themselves. And yeah, it's only my, I think, 4th video. So I'm still practicing, I'm still learning, but I just really want to serve others and give you all as much as I can. So let me know if you read any of these and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!